Hi, it's Maggie the Irish Gypsy here to bring you your December 2022 mid-month general readings. Welcome everyone. As always, I hope you're all doing well as we head into the second half of December and the holiday season. Thank you for taking the time to be here. This is for the last 2 weeks of December 2022, and this reading is for our lovely lions, the fire sign of Leo. You may want to watch your sun, moon, rising, and Venus, although this is for Leo sun, moon, rising, or Venus. It's also relevant if you're cross-watching for a Leo. It's a general reading, so it'll resonate a little differently for everyone. So if you know the rest of your signs, sun, moon, rising, Venus, watch them for any additional insight. If you find that something does resonate with you and you'd like to maybe take a deeper look and reach out for a personal reading, either for yourself or as a gift for someone else. We are in the midst of one of the biggest gift-giving seasons, and personal readings do make great gifts. If you're interested in either of those options, please email me directly at maggie1mcguire@gmail.com. You can also see that contact info attached to the description link in this video. And thank you so much for following, watching, subscribing, sharing, liking, all of that. Greatly appreciated. Okay, Leo, let's see what the last half of December looks like for you. I'm using the Tarot of Dreams and clarifying with the Gilded Tarot. Sorry, I'm clarifying with the Radiant Rider-Waite Tarot. Okay. We begin with the Two of Wands, a crossroads, a decision of action. Kind of standing there trying to decide, which way do I go? With the Ten of Wands. Tens represent cycle ending, cycle completion, or fulfillment. The Ten of Wands represents something that has grown too heavy, too burdensome. This is kind of a card of feeling sort of exhausted, tired, overwhelmed. You're done. You want to be done with something. It's just gotten to be too much of a burden. King of Wands. This could be you, Leo, Aries, Sagittarius, Sun, Moon, Rising, or Venus. It could also be another fire sign that's relevant. It's showing up as a king, but in a general reading, this can also be a female. With the King of Wands, we have the Knight of Swords. Swords is governed by the element of air, which governs everything that goes on in our mental, intellectual landscape. Truth, insight, education, perspectives, ideals, ideologies, because that affects the way that we communicate. So knights always represent offers and opportunities for change, the speed at which situations move. The Knight of Swords is kind of like the postal carrier, the mailman of the tarot. He comes and brings news and information and conversation. So there's a conversation happening here. You're having it with somebody else is having it with you. You may be trying to make a decision based on information you've received. Next, we have the Moon, but perhaps there's a lack of clarity. Maybe there's some hidden fears, realistic or unrealistic, because there's light with the Moon just like there is with light of the sun. I think the Moon reflects the light of the sun, but it's a different kind of light. It's shadowy, and there's a lot of hidden corners and nooks and crannies and recesses, and you don't know what's in there. Your fears could become more magnified than is realistic. It can be a card of lacking clarity, but something is still pulling on you spiritually or intuitively. With the Moon, we have the Four of Wands, typically one of the happy home cards. It speaks of home celebrations with family and friends, sometimes specific things like, weddings. This is one of the traditional wedding cards. It represents the traditional meaning of this card is representing the anticipatory excitement of preparing for something, preparing for a party, preparing for a celebration, preparing for a homecoming, an event, a reunion of some kind with family and friends. May it be that you don't know if you're going somewhere, if somebody is coming for something. It may be that there's a reuniting or a homecoming coming up, and you're unsure as to how that's going to work out. From the bottom of the deck, for overall energy and focus, we have Justice, Leo. So that's the overall theme for the last half of December. Justice can represent legal issues, In the upright position, it's a strong implication of contracts and negotiations working in your favor. As an overall energy, it's about, truth, morality, ethics, doing the right thing. Let's clarify. It's quite clear that you're here with the Ten of Wands, Leo, that you're tired of something. You want something to be at an end because you're tired of carrying it around, carrying the burden or carrying the consequences of it, or feeling a certain way about something. It may have started out fine, but it's just grown wearisome and burdensome to you. Let's clarify justice as the overall energy. Thought there was a card stuck to justice. There's not. The Ten of Wands, again, what's the right thing to do? Perhaps you're waiting on the right thing to do, or perhaps you're waiting for someone to do what you perceive to be the right thing, because we have the Hanging Man next. Yeah. The Hanging Man and the Ten of Wands. I'm so tired of dealing with this. I'm so tired of carrying this around. I'm tired of feeling like I'm perpetually in limbo around something. For those of you for whom this may resonate as a relationship reading, it could be about the relationship itself, being stuck at a certain point for quite a long time and not moving forward. It could be any area here, really. Could be work, career, finance, although I'm not seeing any pentacles quite yet, which typically represent that area. It could be, or it could be something about home, work, or money that affects the home and family. Let's clarify the Two of Wands and the Ten of Wands. Two of Wands, Crossroads, choices. The Devil and the Eight of Cups. So the Eight of Cups is leaving, walking away from something which has either run its course or proven to be unfulfilling, to go in search of the Nine of Cups, which is the next card, which represents wish fulfillment and everything you want. Here, someone has realized that this isn't what they want, and so they're leaving. So it may be a decision to leave something behind, or leave someone behind, a person, place, or situation. The Devil represents a very strong attachment to it, though. The Devil can represent Capricorn energy, and it can represent, it often, not always, but often represents something which we've become so attached to that it's turned into something, unhealthy, like a negative cycle or pattern of something. So herein lies the struggle. It looks like you're thinking, because you've been hanging on interminably for something to move forward or manifest, and it hasn't, that you're struggling with, walking away, with leaving, but it's something you're still very attached to, or something that some part of you thinks it needs, whether you actually do or not, right? That's the nature of obsession and addiction, which the Devil can also represent. We know it's not healthy for us, but at the same time, there's something about it. There's something that we get from it. We tell ourselves, well, I need this thing, right? But you're tired of waiting. You're tired of hanging around. It could be for some of you, too, that in a relationship of some kind, love and romance or otherwise, this person has a habit which has grown to be unhealthy, or affecting you in an unhealthy pattern, an unhealthy way that keeps going around and around and around, a pattern of coming and going and coming and going. Let's clarify that Ten of Wands. Knight of Wands, a fast mover, spontaneous, impulsive, racing off. Yeah, it may be that so there's a two-part thing here. Maybe you're tired of somebody coming and going and coming and going. The situation never moves forward because it's not stable. But yet, you're in love, or you've been with this person for a long time. If it's not love or romance, it could be a different kind of relationship too. It could be a partner of any kind that just keeps coming and going. Others of you, and or it could be, you're like, "Oh, as hard as this may be to do, this may be the time where I have to break, I have to leave, I have to get away from this." Clarify King of Wands. I mean, also, in some sense, the Devil and the Knight of Wands is somebody who perpetually seeks, their own pleasure and own gratification, perhaps at the expense of other people's or other people's feelings. King of Wands. Four of Cups. An offer being made. An offer being made to you. You're not sure if you should take it, or you've made an offer to somebody else. They're not sure if they're going to take it or not. An offer for a new beginning, a concrete new beginning, or moving forward to a new beginning. Could be, it could be anything really. It's Pentacles, so it could be a new job, moving, relocating, a new start, getting married, moving in together. Could be a toxic work situation, environment, and you're wondering if you should seek a new job, or maybe you have a new job offer and you're contemplating whether to take it or not, because you still have this attachment to something else that you have history with, your current job or your current relationship. Clarify Knight of Swords. But it looks like there's an ongoing conversation here, or at least has been. Knight of Swords. The Two of Wands. Conversation about the choice. What are you going to do? Are we going to move forward? Ace of Wands. Or are we or this thing going to move forward, or are we not? There's an offer on the table here, but again, with the Moon and the Four of Wands, clarify the Moon, it's unclear still what decision the other side will make, what decision you will make, or what decision you will make based on what they do or don't do. But again, with this overall energy of the Ten of Wands and the Hanging Man, it looks like you've actually been kind of in limbo. Maybe during that limbo period of little to no action, maybe that you're learning new things, you're getting new insights on this job, this person, this relationship as well. But it's about what's the right thing to do. And if this other side person isn't going to do the right thing, then what is the right thing for me to do as a result of that? Clarify the Moon. It's unclear. Judgment, yeah. This is a Crossroads card as well, but it's Major Arcana, so it has profound implications, meaning if you stay in this situation, it's probably just going to stay that way for a long, long, long time. If you leave, it's probably going to be a life-changing path. But the consequences will likely be final one way or the other, so choose wisely. Again, with clarifying the Moon, there's a lack of clarity. And because this is a general reading and it's going to play out a little differently, this can be a few different. What is this other person or what is this other side going to be doing? And what do I do based on that? Should I just, Three of Wands also. It's also a card of waiting, feeling positive, hopeful, optimistic about the future. It's a card about sort of waiting for the future. It's unclear here. What is the best decision for the future? What is the best decision for your future? Clarify Four of Wands. This is going to be relationship for some. It may be work, career for others. And in that, even with that, though it looks like it has a strong effect on home and family, which of course work would, if you have home and family. Four of Wands. Six of Cups. Yeah, this is a card of history, attachment, people, places, situations you have a long history with. Healing. Six of Swords. One more. The Star. Renewed, restored hope, faith, and optimism. Yeah. So it feels like things are just continuing to kind of play out this way, Leo. There's all this uncertainty and fears at the end of this reading. It's like, I don't know. I don't know what this other person's going to do. I don't know what I'm going to do yet. I don't know if there's any hope in this situation of it getting better if I continue to stay. I'm tired of feeling like I'm in limbo overall. All right, advice, guidance, feedback for Leo for the last half of December 2022. Advice, guidance, feedback for Leo. The Hermit. This can be very basic, plain advice of walking your own path. This is a card as advice. It's about take what you've learned, even though some of those lessons may have been painful, and move on. Because, but it's also a card of kind of taking some quiet time and pulling back a bit in retrospect. And because of this waiting energy, you may feel like you've already done a lot of that. But the Hermit is about taking some time away from, noisy, the day-to-day minutia of life if you can, or taking breaks from it, maybe meditation, and kind of looking at everything you've put into this, what you've learned, how you've grown from this, and taking that and moving forward, whether you move forward alone or not. It can also represent somebody in your life or seeking out advice and guidance from somebody who represents kind of that sort of older, wise person whose opinion you value. But it is traditionally a solitary energy, kind of taking some time to yourself to contemplate and go, you know what, I've learned all of this stuff in my life, and I need to use that and apply that here moving forward. The Seven of Swords can be a card of deception or trickery, but this is advice here too. I mean, I call it my sneaky thief card, but it can be quite positive too. It is a self-serving card. It represents somebody who has their own best interests at heart, and whatever they want to do, keep, acquire, maintain, all of their actions or ideas they keep to themselves, or mostly to themselves, because that's how they feel they can best accomplish it. It is about motives and serving yourself, which isn't always necessarily bad. Self-serving, when somebody says something self-serving or selfish or self-oriented, we tend to look at it in kind of a negative light. But I don't think it is here. I mean, it's coming out from Spirit as advice. It's about I think this is about figuring out who you are, kind of re-owning your whole life experience and lessons, because I feel like whatever this situation represents for you, whether it's a relationship, in love or romance, home, family, or at work, I think you're forgetting your life path and how you're dealing with this. It may be that some of you have gotten yourself into a position where you're waiting on someone or something else to decide your own happiness and your future path forward. And I think that you need to take a look at your life path up to now and go, you know what, I can do this myself. I can decide what's best for myself and move forward. 10 of Cups, 10 of Pentacles. This is for relationship. This is marriage. This is a long-term stable marriage. But it is ultimately about long-term stability and security, meaning not having to worry about today, tomorrow, next week, next month, next year, financially, materially, and emotionally. Home and family. This would be marriage. This would be a good, better job. Again, it's about, but maybe not voicing it aloud quite yet. But your advice is actually quite self-oriented. What is best for me long-term? What is best for my home and family, if you have that, or whatever that is, long term. And you need to start taking a look at that. You need to start making plans on how to and take action about moving forward for that. It's a quieter, reflective time. There's a strong indication here that it perhaps isn't something you should be, talking about too broadly. Maybe you already have had all the conversations. So, but focusing. It's a very self-oriented advice here, Leo, about moving forward, making plans. You don't need to advertise them, but whatever this 10 of Pentacles, 10 of Cups, whether it's marriage, family, money, security, all of that, you need to start moving forward with that as your goal. Okay, Leo, those are your messages for the second half of December. I hope you found them relevant and useful, or at least gave you some food for thought. Again, if this resonates with you and you'd like to peel it back a bit, take a deeper look, reach out for a personal reading for yourself or as a gift for someone else, feel free to email me directly at maggie1mcguire@gmail.com. I would be delighted to hear from you. I do offer quite a wide variety of readings in all areas of life. And while a lot of people like to book the readings quite soon after you purchase them, they're good for up to 6 months, which is handy when you're giving them as gifts. So something to keep in mind. All right, I will see you all in a couple of weeks for the brand new general readings for a brand new year. I hope all of you have a very Merry Christmas and Happy New Year and a safe and wonderful holiday season. And I hope to see you back here again soon. Bye-bye.